Sessions at sunrise, a way to begin every morning. Most mornings, I'm up to see the sun. I'm used to thinking and feeling in words. Living in words, my world is living and the world is living me. I wonder what will animate me today or what will go away. I find myself in the realm of a hope dealer. I have no suit to put on, just learning to be me, not fancy, just a lot clearer. Am I doing all I can to preserve great leaders? Am I doing all I can to bring great parents to children and great leaders to organizations? I ask the emerging sunrise to release me from shunning the mystery. The world does not have to be beautiful to work, but it is. So let's meet it where it is, pay close attention to things, and see possibility. Welcome to Sessions at Sunrise.
I learn a lot from my two daughters, 15 and 17. One evening, we had a great chat about the topic of being an animal. And we asked ourselves, if we could be an animal for a day, what would we be? What would we occupy? And it was really interesting. Why did we pick the animal that we picked? Now, my girls were intrigued with what I would say. And so when we went through the question, I didn't hesitate to say I'd love to be a peregrine falcon. So Hannah asked me why. Why would I want to be a peregrine falcon? And I said that I love the way that they hover and they can see from the mountaintops. They can see the larger panoramic view. Just like in life when we step back and we see patterns and we see how things connect. We're present to different aspects of a system and we can start to make sense of things by really fully using our organs of perception, not only our heads, but our hearts, and of course our bodies. We can bring ourselves intelligent with the more comprehension that we can offer, our ability to understand something. And I think the falcon has that keen awareness of being able to see from a peripheral place. At the same time, the falcon has the opportunity to calculate a swoop, to swoop down when the time is right, to be able to see close to the ground, to be able to see intimately something close and near. And it's this capacity to zoom out and zoom in that I'm so intrigued with that I'd like to inherit that animal for a day and occupy the senses of that animal. And, after that evening, I knew that something had stuck in me that I needed to write. And it wouldn't leave me alone. Now, through these sessions at sunrise, it's activated reflection and ideation, and poems start to emerge. So I start writing down just thoughts about what that moment had spoke to me. And so I came into a poem it started to shape as Only to Be a Falcon. And I wrote down without hesitation, just brainstorming what I felt the moment had given me, their inquiry and what I had thought about in occupying that animal. And this is Only to Be a Falcon. Only to be a falcon. My wish is to hover high, see over mountaintops. Those before said to stay with it and to carefully calculate my swoops. Snake or scarf? Asked my peregrine mother. Nearness will tell me, I answered her. As the cold black eye witnesses nature's pattern and makes for new light, like a ripe fruit ready for harvest, something moves and animates inside me. Perhaps deception has cut a slice of presence, like a beacon of hope. Instinct is the hidden discipline of all great minds. Scanners hover until the instant indulges a deep dive, seeking patterns of clarity across gradients of possibility, outside, across, beyond. Let the mountain, the lake, and the landforms explain themselves. Hover without false certainty and swoop wisely from the ecstatic. Like raining sunbeams peeking through pine needle spotlights, while I look at them, The way is lit, as if the parking brake holding time released itself into the wormhole, let down the fierceness of fear, and go softly and precise into the dive. Eyes shut and silently falling ever so faster. Now the confluence glows. Appreciate the weight of the body pulling itself to earth with no place for memory, just this. Wings set and attack angle fierce, groundless nears grounding. All at once the body shakes, sensing the updraft, saying land here. Sheer steadfastness holds, for energy where it's most likely to go. There is no going back. Walk with practical feet, the earth whispered. No voices out, even the past is a mystery. The pine cone is there to guide you into original participation. She says the forest knows one extra is here for revelation, and you are that too. The grouse runs for one more chance to inherit another day and misses to the great way. Perhaps peregrines and grouse dissolve into one blackness, threshing the angel of death as the next crest has come forth, and the leaves and all the trees thicken their weaving arms to form a circle around you, breezing to be the contented king or queen. The soundtrack of the great connector animating the web of life is present, and all things must shape whatever the future needs this moment. Lonely in the quiet conquest of cool mornings, yet love-bound, you go into the inevitable warmth of afternoon delight. Immersion will span over sweet repeating until the gray comes over me in true refuge, and the white flower knows my true name among the trees, the earth, and stars. Until then, I swoop, and swoop, and swoop, only to be a falcon. There are many, many aspects that are held in this poem. I begin with the falcon, only to be and occupy the falcon. To wish is to hover high and to see over the mountaintops, to take a place of really seeing, to see what there is to see, and then calculate the swoop. Is it a snake? Is it a snake or a scarf? Well, the closer I get to the path, if I think it's a snake, maybe it is a scarf, or vice versa. Now, the peregrine mother asks, which implies the spirit, the soul, the feminine energy, and that the nearness will tell me. I answer her. So it's the nearness to the heart, the nearness to the spirit. And this cold black eye witness is the part of us that can see without getting our emotional noise in the way. It's to see the patterns as they are. It's to see factually. And so, new light like a ripe fruit ready for harvest. Something moves and animates me. It's to say that the light gets in when I let go of the assumptions. When I let go of the certainties, I can see. And perhaps deception has cut a slice of presence like a beacon of hope. So it's saying that the deception of thought has cut a slice of presence. In other words, it's made space for something new, to honor differences. And then this instinct to act in an instant is this hidden discipline of all great minds, to not hesitate, but to indulge, to act, to learn. And then seek patterns over gradients of possibility, this sort of full spectrum quality of comprehension, where we can see the whole land, the landforms, and take it all in, but hover without that false certainty and swoop wisely from the ecstatic, to leave the familiar, the ecstatic. And like raining sunbeams peeking through the pine needles, much like a plane would land on a lit runway, these are the lights. The way is lit as if the parking brake holding time released it into the wormhole, suggesting that if I let go and let come, I transcend from this world to the next world into a world of soft landing. And I let down the fierceness of fear and go soft. We must let go of our fear to inherit courage. and take the gateway. Take the gateway to change. The things that are wanting to emerge that we partially sense are coming into us. We must embrace that. There's a movement there. The eyes shut is to say, if you close your eyes, you know the path. But silently falling means to own your own quiet, to come into a place where your internal stillness is actually there for you to increase tempo, to have the confluence glow, which means to confluently have the combination between the fierceness of the fall and this sort of releasing into this larger context or this larger net of a friendly universe, which is the hope of mystery. It's to go down. It's to fall, as like falling in love. We're not sure if it'll all work out, but we give ourselves to it. We appreciate the weight of the body. We're pulled to earth. There's no place for memory. In other words, we have to remember to forget. Just this, just now. All is there. All is now. And then with the wings set, and we have this sheer steadfastness that holds the energy. As we're pulled towards something that deeply stands in need of us, there's tension there between where we are moving from and where we're moving to. Structural tension. There's no going back because the path of least resistance is held such that it's going where it's most likely to go. And then we're walking the earth with these practical feet. We've landed, no voices out. The earth is the landlord. We are the servant and the steward. Even the past is a mystery, which is to go back and reflect on where we came, but to see it in a different way once we get there. And the pine cone is this sort of guardian, this trickster that is there to guide us, to upset the familiar, and find us in original participation, which is to come into the moment with fresh eyes, to start from beginner's mind, as they would say. And the forest knows one extra is here. The forest knows that I am all part of the system, and that I am that too, and that I am also a place of revelation. I'm one extra in a movie. I'm not the center of the action. I'm wallpaper. And the grouse runs for one more chance, so there's something happening here where the peregrine is going after the grouse, and it misses to the great way, which means it's meant to give its life to the natural way, or the Tao, perhaps. And then the peregrines, the grouse, the two of them are in this dance, and they are into one blackness, which would suggest that there is no power in either one of them. They're all in this together in this larger picture, threshing the angel of death, which is just calling on a purposeful movement where this next crest has come forth. There's something moving there, something happening that is gravitas. It says the leaves and all the trees thicken their weaving arms and form a circle around you, which is to accept or to be accepted by the mystery, by the hope, by that which we cannot know, but to trust without betrayal, without fear. And then this breezing of something blowing gently, the contented king or queen, which is ultimately the balanced soul. The king or the queen, it's the balanced lover or woman or mother, or for the male, it's the balanced lover, warrior, and magician of the great connector animating the web of life is present to be suggesting that we inherit the hidden wholeness of it all, the balanced king, the balanced queen, in having just the right way of holding the moment, and then all things must shape whatever the future needs this moment, lonely in the quiet context of the cool mornings. As we start in, we have this loneliness about not knowing whether we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, but yet love-bound in the afternoon means the afternoon knows nothing about the morning and where we were, but something has changed, almost like the moth into the butterfly. We're in the warm delight of the afternoon. In other words, there's non-adjacency to the movements. There's non-adjacency to the moment that we inherit. And immersion will span over sweet repeating until the gray comes over me. There's a repetitious quality of ever-present now that's unfolding that is being known as I walk, and it's a place of true refuge. It's not a place of fear. It's not a place of cynicism, judgment, the past. It's unhooked from the future. It's not a place that's within my concepts of myself. It's not a place of what they think of me or wedding my identity to what I have or what I own or what I do. It's not a place of any of that. It's just a place of no thing. It's a place of pure possibilities. and the white flower knows my true name. The white flower is the one that grows. It's there. It's the witness. And there must be something that I am relating to, or something relating with me, to know what is going on, to help me appear in this moment of transformation among the trees, the earth, and the stars. So everything is waiting for you. Everything is waiting for you. And then until then, I swoop and I swoop and I swoop and I swoop only to be a falcon. I'm cycling into these hover swoops as I go. Some of them work, some of them don't, but I'm going through this process over and over again of learning and growing and doing what my nature has me do and what the course of life has given to me, has offered to me. So this only to be a falcon, I wrote it at first, and then I very carefully crafted the architecture of it so it would hold a lot of these teachings and lessons. I wanted to seed it with some gems that I could remember throughout my life about what it was to really occupy a moment of living, to be living in my life and to live life. That's the purpose of it. So I hope this moment, this Sessions at Sunrise, was helpful to you, and that only to be a falcon was helpful. What animal would you be for a day if you could? And what does that mean to you? What inspires you and amazes you and touches you and moves you and challenges you about taking ownership or taking embodiment of that animal? And why would it be so? And see what that can offer you in the form of teaching, because it echoes something about you that only you, wanting that animal, has something very private and something very special to offer you. Thank you.